Hey everyone, welcome back to another Preset Biz remake video. In today's video we're going to be checking out Matt Nash's song I Won't Let You Down, which was probably released about 2 years ago now on Hexagon, and Matt has kindly sent us his DST plugin, which is a really nice distortion plugin which can just do so many versatile things. It's basically like as if OTT, Sausage Fattener and maybe like Saturn had a kid together. So we're going to be using that today to really try and get close to Matt Nash's sound in this song. We'll be throwing in all of the links to the plugin down below, so if you do want to go and grab it for yourself. But let's jump straight into FL and see what we can do today. So the very first sound I want to start this remake with is the brass sound that you hear straight from the start, which is essentially the lead melody following the vocal melody. So this is the MIDI that we've got for it, and this is how it sounds. So right from the get-go, you can probably hear we've got a little bit of processing on here. We've got the DST plugin to start the chain, and all we're kind of doing here is boosting a bit of the highs and high mids, and a little bit of distortion as well. So if we get rid of the first instance of the DST, it sounds like this. And with it on, it sounds like this. And so here's the second instance of the DST plugin, and I'm using the fuzz preset, which just really adds a lot of kind of distorted highs, mids, and also quite a bit of low end in there as well. So it just really thickens up the whole sound. So without the DSTs, we have this. And with it, so obviously it gets louder, but you can hear as well there's a lot of kind of harmonics and frequencies being added in there with all the distortion and kind of boosts being done at the bottom here. Now also on the processing we've got some reverb just to really sit it in that massive space. So I'm just using the vanilla Fruity Reverb 2 and cranking up the wet amount quite heavily compared to the dry, so you get more of like a wet mix. And then I've also got a Fruity Love filter which is acting as a low pass filter. So with the vocals so far we have this. And here, as you can see, we've got the automation, so I'm doing exactly what I described. We've got a bit of cut off left at the top here, and then kind of going down again on the low pass and just opening up fully for the chorus section here. And before I forget, this is the preset we're using to do that whole brass sound. This is just a lead called Whoa, which you can get from Car Music Vol.1. So next up, we're going to take a look at the reese sound, which comes in, and so this is the MIDI we've got for it. And then the reese sound we're using to do that whole bass line there is a reese called Reese Toes, which you can grab in Car Music Vol.3. And then you'll see as we go into the build, we've got a different variation on that pattern because basically the third note gets pushed up an octave, so it's just jumped up an octave. That's the only difference. And then again, we've got some automation here on the filter cutoff this time, actually within Serum. So next up, we've got these pad / atmospheric kind of sounds. These are really light and kind of gentle in the mix. And they're kind of establishing the chords, which look completely chaotic here, but I've just kind of added as many notes as I could hear in the song. And this is the multi-saw preset from Main Stage Vol.1. Next up, we've got a string sound which kind of sits on top of the whole mix and just holds one note. So this is the rising string preset, which you can get in Car Music Vol.2, and it's holding a G sharp note, which sounds like this. So now we're going to introduce some drums and get started with a snap sound here, which is probably the only percussion that comes in for this first verse section here. So these are quite subtle in the mix, and they're from Main Stage Vol.1. And then we have a sweep here which ties us nicely into the next section. And then we've got a snare which is introduced on the build, and it's kind of been played on the floor at the start here until it just doubles up. So this is how it sounds. And this is from Car Music Vol.4. So I also wanted to layer in a kick underneath here from Main Stage Vol.1, just to kind of thicken up the whole snare sound a bit, add a bit more low end kind of body to it. So as you can hear, it's being low passed right now. So what I've done is just put some automation here on just a Love filter preset. So now we have some percussions and some claps which are being introduced on the build. And these are brought in with a low pass filter again, so they kind of feel a bit muffled in the mix and they just slowly open up as the song progresses. So now as you can see, I've added a bunch of effects to really mark the start of this build and just transition nicely from this part. So we're getting a load of top end energy from this noise lifter and also from this high impact here. And so now to go alongside these, we've got this laser uplifter, which is really being introduced to add like a lot of hype before the drop hits. So what I've done is used a preset in Serum, and I've just pretty much drawn in the MIDI. And this preset is a laser preset just from Fish in the Lake Vol.2. And to really tie everything in all together, we've got a couple more effects here. So we've got just a white noise sweep reverse. And then right at the end here, we have a big snare hit, which is, I believe, a Prida snare. So like a big reverse snare thing. So I believe we've got all the elements down now for the verse and build sections. So if you come back on Friday, we'll be doing the chorus part and we'll just basically be building on some of the elements that we've got here. So let's go and take a quick listen back to all of this now. And again, I would really recommend to get DST because it's such a good plugin. It's super versatile, as you can see in this video. I mean, I've used it on reese basses, brasses, and I'm sure we'll be using more of it on drums and stuff in the next part. Make sure you smash the like button if you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe so you don't miss Friday's video, and let's go and take a quick listen.